because we've been watching this story for a long time, and I want to make sure that I bring y'all up to speed on the latest in this investigation over in Chicago. The suspect that is accused of killing a police officer, Luis, is finally arrested. Finally arrested, all right? Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. The boy never had a chance. I wonder if they had this level of urgency with everything else, would they really start to get the criminals off the streets, or if they had the community support. But this boy never had a chance. He was going to get arrested from day one.
The suspect in the murder of CPD officer Luis Huesca has been arrested in Glendale Heights. Here's video of the scene just a short time ago.
And WGN's Dana Repic is live at police headquarters with more on the arrest. Dana?
Well, we are told that Chicago police officers, as well as members of the U.S. Marshals Great Lakes Regional Fugitive Task Force, took Xavier Tate into custody in suburban Glendale Heights. Here are some photos from that scene shared with us from the capture. It happened at an apartment complex there. You can see Xavier Tate on the ground, then being walked out of that complex in handcuffs, wearing a black T-shirt and shorts, and then him seated in the back of a squad car. Our police sources telling us they actually used Officer Luis Huesca's handcuffs when they apprehended him. Alderman Brian Hopkins telling me over the phone tonight that they did have Tate under surveillance for a period of time and tell us he had recently been in the state of Iowa but did return to Illinois. Now, this all comes 10 days after the murder of Officer Huesca. He was shot in the early morning hours of April 21st near his Gage Park home at 56th and South Kedzie after he had just returned from his shift. His vehicle was stolen and later recovered. The very next day, Chicago police released images and video of who they called a person of interest, later identifying Xavier Tate as their primary suspect. Officer Huesca, a 6-year veteran of the police force, was just laid to rest on Monday. In a statement tonight, the Chicago Police Department updated the public on the arrest, and at the bottom saying the investigation continues. No further information is available at this time. We ask that people of this city continue to support the Huesca family by keeping them in your prayers as they continue to mourn the loss of a beloved son, brother, and uncle. Now, we have not heard from Police Superintendent Larry Snelling if he plans to address the media and the public about this major development that could come sometime tomorrow morning. Live at police headquarters, Dana Rebick, WGN News.
Dana.
I remember it was a time where, and I'm not advocating for this, but I'm just telling you what my anecdotal experience or what my memory jog tells me. I remember there was a time where there's no way in the world that this person would have been able to survive and walk around on the streets and then wind up getting handcuffed alive. No way in the world that they would have been able to find this man alive being a cop killer. I'm surprised that they took this man alive. You know how accidents be happening? That's pretty amazing. But let's get it from another angle.
Cheryl, we are told by multiple police sources and someone close to Officer Luis Huesca's family, this arrest comes as an enormous relief. Investigators have been at this complex for hours, and just before sunset earlier tonight, agents with multiple agencies surrounded and walked out Xavier Tate Jr. We are also told by multiple sources that the handcuffs used to arrest him were the handcuffs that belonged to Officer Huesca. Chicago police and U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force moved in on this Glendale Heights apartment complex Wednesday evening, ready to arrest the man who they say killed Officer Luis Huesca. This is the moment captured by a neighbor's cell phone camera. Chicago police and U.S. Marshals walked Xavier Tate Jr. down a flight of stairs surrounded by law enforcement. According to Chicago Alderman
Looked like they gave him a couple punches to the gut while they was in there. Probably say, hey man, put them cameras up, turn your surveillance off. He probably beat the snot out of that boy. Hey, don't do nothing to his face physically because we don't want nothing to go, you know, all of that. But I'm pretty sure that they was very, very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. He limping down them stairs. Justifiably so. He took somebody else's life. He needs to be limping at the very least. I'm surprised again that they took him alive. But here's my question also. Whose apartment is it? And what happens to them? Because the people that's harboring this fugitive, do they get a pass or do they also get charges too? Just curious.
Hopkins and multiple police sources.
Look at him
the
crying.
Handcuffs restraining Xavier Tate Jr.'s wrists behind his back, with the department issued handcuffs belonging to the officer they say Tate Jr. murdered. People who live in this complex watched investigators swarm in from the safety of their home, and others were warned to stay away.
I was actually warned by my sister. She also lives across the street from all of this. She told me, don't come home at all. Stay like wherever you are, don't come home. There's helicopters, police everywhere. Makes me kind of think twice about where I'm living.
This multi-agency arrest marks the end of a 10-day manhunt for Luis Huesca's accused murderer. Just a day after Officer Huesca's murder, Chicago police began circulating this surveillance
he'll be living
video of
the
a
rest of his
suspect
life in
inside
prison.
multiple
That's for
convenience
sure.
stores and walking down Gage Park sidewalks.
Thank you, Matt. I'm going to read
in the
that super
hours
chat
before
shortly.
and just after Huesca was gunned down. Then Friday, a Cook County judge signed an arrest warrant charging Xavier Tate Jr. with Officer Huesca's murder, and police released these photos of Tate Jr. and said he was the suspect in that widely circulated surveillance video. On this same day, a judge signed Xavier Tate Jr.'s arrest warrant. Investigators arrested his relative, Cassius Tate, at a home in Chicago's Morgan Park neighborhood. Prosecutors say police showed up looking for Xavier Tate Jr., and as they searched the home, police say Cassius Tate tossed a gun over the fence. That gun, they say, belonged to Officer Luis Huesca. Now, days after police and Officer Huesca's family buried the young officer, his long-sought accused killer is in police custody. Investigators are still out here on the scene of this apartment complex, and they have it locked down, carrying out this investigation. People who live here are now left standing outside trying to sort through all of this. We did speak to one person who is a neighbor of Xavier Tate Jr., who said he recognized him and knew that he lived here. Now, all of this will be part of an ongoing investigation. We did speak with one source close to Officer Luis Huesca's family who said, quote, tonight, their prayers have been answered.
Watch. Breaking news right now at 10. The lead suspect in the killing of a Chicago police officer arrested after 10 days on the run. This photo shows Xavier Tate Jr.'s arrest, charged with Officer Luis Huesca's murder.
What we've learned tonight about Tate's capture, the investigation that brought us to this moment, and more on the life of Officer Luis Huesca.
That breaking news topping the 10 tonight. CBS 2 obtained this video of Xavier Tate Jr. getting arrested tonight. The lead suspect in the murder of Chicago police officer Luis Huesca.
He has been on the run for 10 days, accused of gunning down Officer Luis Huesca outside his Gage Park home last month.
Now, this is a live look from Chopper 2.
Look at his feet. He's also in shackles. Now, we note that he was handcuffed, and sources tell us that CPD used the slain officer's cuffs to make this arrest. A clear statement for the CPD members who've been searching for Tate. Now, after 10 days on the run, Tate is officially off the streets, captured, and no longer a threat to the community, which is evident tonight, stretched beyond Chicago into this western suburb. Sources tell me Tate's relative, it's believed his brother, lives in this apartment complex. It's not clear how and when police realized Tate was hiding out here, but we know late tonight, Chicago police and U.S. Marshals moved in, arresting him.
It's right across the street from you, so it's really scary.
Just Monday, Chicago paused to honor and remember Officer Huesca. The 30-year-old was given a full honor guard service before being laid to rest at his final resting place.
Well, good. Finally, we got some good news out of Chicago. I mean, not good considering the circumstances, but good when it comes to the fact that at least they found and apprehended and arrested the suspect. Because I don't believe in people that take other people's lives. I don't believe in people that do things that's bad for the community. And it's still unfortunate. It's absolutely unfortunate. I would think that we also get some words of encouragement and some thoughts from the mayor and the governor, considering that too many police officers are dying in Chicago. And, you know, we got this guy and he's out here hiding out. He been on a run for 10 days, God knows doing what, severing his last moments of freedom. And he got out of the whole thing alive. That's probably the weirdest part of it, the whole thing, is that he actually got out of it alive. So surprising. Y'all said that the police officers are too rough. I'm saying that I think the police officers are too lenient. Anyway, so that's what's going on over in Chicago. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on your notifications. We finally got one of the criminals off the streets, and I'm wondering how much criminal activity he was a part of prior to killing a police officer, and whether or not they would have went all out for somebody that wasn't a police officer.